Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, but before we hop into it, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you have not heard of Skillshare before, they are essentially a huge online platform full of classes upon almost any subject that you can think about. They have classes on videography, photography, web development, how to open up a business, creative writing, how to illustrate, things on Procreate. If there's a skill that you want to learn, Skillshare likely has a class on the subject. A couple of my favorite classes that I've taken on there is a productivity masterclass by Ali Abdaal. This is one of my favorites because it really helps you make more time out of your day. So if you've ever thought, I don't have enough time for something, he goes in and debunks that idea and shows how you can actually make time for all the things that are most important to you. So if there's big goals that you really want to start making time for, that is the masterclass to take. Another one of his classes that I really like is his Notion masterclass. Notion is essentially a note-taking app, but it's far beyond a note-taking app, and it's really helped me organize all of my thoughts and all of my ideas so that everything's all in one place so that I can free up more mental space and I can actually make more out of my time. And it will help you organize your life like no other. Ever since I started using Notion, I feel like my entire life has changed because I feel like now Notion is my second brain where I have everything organized. I have all of my ideas and it's so easy to find and organize all of those thoughts and ideas. I have book summaries, my vision board, my habit tracker, my journal, my calendar. I have so much stuff on Notion and it's all organized and neatly placed. So I highly recommend checking out those two classes. They've been my absolute favorite and they've been totally life-changing. And there's also so many other classes that you can take on Skillshare. And if you're curious to give Skillshare a try, the first 1,000 people to click the link down below in the description box get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And you can easily take those two classes within 1 month. So I highly recommend checking that out. And again, the first 1,000 people to click the link down below in the description box get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I'm sending you all so much love, and let's go ahead and hop right back into today's pick a card. Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading all about your life in 2 years from now. So if you're curious what you are going to be achieving, what you're currently attracting, and the path that you're currently on, this is going to reveal where your life is going to be 2 years from now and all of that stuff. And I love doing these videos because it really helps us see where we're going, especially if we're like wondering like, am I doing the right things that are going to lead me to the right place and all of that. So this is the video that's going to help you see where your actions are currently leading you and all of that. So I'm really excited about it. If you are too, then welcome, and I'm so happy that you are here. If you are new to these types of videos, I'm going to give you a quick little explanation about how it works. So I have 4 different groups in front of me. We have group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you would like, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. And then once you're done choosing, there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box, as well as the description box, that you can skip right ahead to your personal reading all about what your life is going to be like in 2 years from now. If you like to choose with crystals on the cards, then let's go ahead and add some crystals on these cards. All right, my loves, if you like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. So over on group number 1, we have some citrine. Group number 2, we have some opalite. Group number 3, we have some bismuth. And then group number 4, we have some mukayet jasper. And this is a pink version of mukayet jasper. It's so beautiful. So those are our group options today. And again, you can close your eyes, pause the video, take as much time as you'd like to find the group that you are the most drawn towards. And then once you're done choosing, there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box, as well as the description box, that you can skip right ahead to your personal prediction. A little bit of extra intuition advice, if you find it difficult to tap into your intuition, is you can close your eyes and wait for the first number between 1 and 4 to pop into your head. And that's going to be your intuition speaking to you. The first number that just pops right in without you even thinking about it or second guessing it, that is your intuition directly speaking to you. So that's a little tip if you want some extra help with finding the right group for you. And again, timestamps are down below, and I will see you in your reading. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your life in 2 years from now. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so group number one, what an interesting reading we have. So we have the Four of Cups, the Moon card, then we have the World being reversed, Six of Pentacles upright, and then the Nine of Swords upright as well. So the only overturned card that we have is the World over here, and Spirit is actually coming through with a lot of advice, and there's also a lot revealing about what your life's gonna be like in 2 years from now, and I'm really excited to get into it. So an interesting thing that I am seeing here, the Four of Cups. When the Four of Cups is upright, it talks about the current kind of circumstances that we have that might not be quite where we want them to be, and maybe we're waiting around for an opportunity. Maybe we want something to happen, or we're wanting to attract something, but the question that the Four of Cups asks us is, what action are we taking to help us attract and manifest the life that we want? What are we doing? Because as you can see, she's just kind of sitting here and she's waiting for something to happen. She's waiting for something to come her way. And there's these ideas, but is she taking action on them? And so I feel like your spirit guides are coming through right now asking you, okay, you've had some great ideas. You know a little bit about what it is that you want to create in your life, but are you taking action towards it? Or are we kind of just living the same day over and over again, but yet we're also kind of like sulking in those problems and kind of being like, oh, I don't like these certain things. Why is my life like this? And it's like, well, what are we doing that keeps contributing to that? So if you want your life to be different 2 years from now, Spirit is really telling you to begin taking action on the ideas that you're getting that are gonna help you create the life that you want. However, the Moon card is also here, which signifies that sometimes the things that we desire are on the other end of a challenge or some sort of fear that we have to get over. Like maybe it's going to require stepping into the unknown or creating some sort of change in your life that brings you towards a new opportunity or a new doorway or a new path. And so what I'm seeing for you in 2 years from now, between now and 2 years from now, I do see you taking the opportunity to step into the unknown, which could mean, you know, taking a chance on something. Even though we don't know where it's gonna lead or if it's gonna bring us success, we go for it anyway because we know that what we desire is on that path, it's on that road. So I see you kind of taking a chance on something, walking into the unknown, doing something that you've never done before in order to lead you somewhere new. Okay, so if you've been thinking about something for a while but not really taking action on it, I do see you taking action on it within the next little while, and it's going to bring you somewhere new. It's going to bring you a new outcome within these next 2 years. The World card being reversed is like we have the potential to manifest something really big and to change our world and to create something new, but we do need to start taking action. So Spirit right now, it's almost like you're at a crossroads because things can go 2 different ways for you. They could go 2 different ways. We could continue living the same life and creating the same circumstances for ourselves. So if you choose not to make these changes, if you choose not to go towards those ideas that are quite enticing, the world kind of stays the same. And the World card being reversed is sort of like, things are relatively the same. However, the other undercurrent of this reading is also showing what your life is going to be like if you do take those new opportunities, if you do act on those new ideas, and if you take the chance to step into the unknown. There could be some sort of like fear that's holding you back. It could be a fear of failure. It could be the fear of success, because sometimes people actually fear success and they're like, how is my life going to be different? How are people going to think of me different if I do actually become successful at this? Sometimes that's a fear. Sometimes we fear rejection. Sometimes we fear the judgment of other people. Sometimes we fear like how we're going to change, or we fear the differences that could create in our life. Like there's a myriad of different things that we could fear that stops us from taking action towards something. Maybe we think that we're not good enough. We could have all these different beliefs and it just holds us back, and then we continue kind of making the same patterns and living the same life. So what would we rather? Would we rather take a chance, learn something new, and expand ourselves and navigate a new path that could bring us so much more happiness and continue to navigate that until we find the success? Or do we want to stay in the same patterns and stay in the comfort, even though it's not that comfortable, right? Because it's like almost like where you are. If we look at the Four of Cups, if we look at where you are, it's like, it's comfortable, it's familiar, she can sit there and relax, but does she look totally fulfilled and happy with it? Not really. So staying in the comfort, the familiar, isn't necessarily really that comfortable. So what do you want? Because you do have the potential to create something here. The Six of Pentacles that we have next, this is creating more financial wealth. Also, believing in ourselves, because there's almost this aspect. The Six of Pentacles is interesting because on one aspect of the Six of Pentacles, it's the beggar, and on the other aspect of the Six of Pentacles, it is the provider and the giver. So what this shows is a certain duality here. So in 2 years from now, do you want to be the one that's waiting for an opportunity, that's waiting around for something to happen, that's waiting for the external circumstances to change before you take action? Or do you want to be the leader of your life, the architect of your life, the creator of your life in order to make the world that you really, really desire? Which side of the spectrum do you want to be on? Waiting for other people to help you, waiting for an opportunity to fall on your lap, waiting for other external things to shift? Or do you want to be the one that takes the action, that moves forward, doesn't wait around for anyone else, anything else, and says, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to start doing something. I'm going to start doing things. And you don't have to have it all figured out. Some people think that they need it all figured out. And that's an interesting thing that the World card also talks about when it's in reverse. So the World card when it's reversed is sometimes we fear taking action because we don't have the whole plan figured out and mapped out to its entirety. But the thing is we can't map out the entirety of something until we take the first step. We can't really map out the entire future of our life because we don't know how we're going to change on that journey and on that path. So you just need to start taking the first steps and navigating it from there. You take the first step and you ask yourself, okay, does this feel good? Does this feel right? Should I keep doing this? Is it just a fear that's holding me back? Is this something that I actually want, but maybe I'm psyching myself out from a fear? Or is this something that I'm realizing, maybe I didn't quite want that, but this is giving me a new idea that I want to move in that direction. So we navigate it as we go. We navigate it and we learn and we grow on that path. And so Spirit is really encouraging you to ask yourself, what do you really want? Because if you do begin overcoming those fears, moving in this direction, your entire world is going to change. The fact that we have the World card showing up for you and it's the center card in this reading shows that your entire world could be entirely different. You could write an entirely new chapter. The World card is the last card in the major arcana sequence in tarot. And it's one of the most powerful cards that talks about a massive chapter of your life ending and you're opening up a brand new chapter. You're closing out an old one, opening up a new one. So 2 years from now, you have that potential to open up a new chapter where your finances are more balanced. You are now all of a sudden living in abundance where you have abundance to give rather than waiting around for abundance to be given to you. It's like you are the creator of it and you're also now the provider of it. I'm seeing you stepping into more independence 2 years from now if you really take charge. If you really take charge, become the leader. And although, there are going to be challenges along that way, but they're going to help you grow if you stay focused and if you stay in that leadership mentality. The Nine of Swords right here. Everyone has these worries that might keep them up at night and they think I don't want this, or what do I choose about this? What do I choose about that? One thing that I'm seeing for you is if you step into that leadership role where you're like, I got this. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to bring my power back into me. And I'm going to take charge and I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to face those fears and I'm going to learn and navigate it on the road. Like, for example, if you fear judgment, you fear putting yourself out there because you're scared of what other people might think of you. If you just step into that, and regardless of other people's opinions and things, you just go, oh, you know what? I'm in my element and I'm enjoying this and I don't care about what anyone else thinks of me. Because one thing about success, successful people aren't scared of making a fool of themselves in the process, because many successful people, when they started doing something, they probably got questioned a lot. I know for me, when I started my YouTube channel, I definitely had a lot of people that were like, yeah, you're probably not gonna do very good at that. Good luck. And even when I made my first video, which is like totally on private now, it's not even out there. So embarrassing. It was like not good at all. It was so not good. But I learned as I went along, you know, I learned how to navigate that, and I learned from my mistakes, because it's inevitable you're gonna make mistakes. I still make mistakes in the things that I do, but I learn as I go, because I make a mistake and then I think, okay, not gonna do that again. Let's try out again. But you can't give up no matter how many mistakes you make. I think it took Thomas Edison over 10,000 tries of trying to create the light bulb or something like that. Something crazy. You would think that somebody would give up on a dream after like trying 1,000 times and failing 1,000 times. No, this guy kept going. So you have to keep going. You have to keep believing in yourself. You have to be your biggest cheerleader and not wait for things to happen for you, because then you're gonna be waiting a long time, a really long time. And in fact, then it's out of your control. If you wait for things to change in the external world for you to like find success or be successful, you are leaving it up to chance. You are giving all of your power away and saying, I'm gonna wait for that to happen first. Maybe we're waiting around for the right time. But when is the right time? There's never going to be a right time where all of a sudden we can be sure that we're not going to make a mistake. It's going to come out perfectly. It's like, no, that's literally waiting for the impossible to happen, because there's going to be mistakes. But that is part of learning. It's part of growing, because you learn the most through your mistakes. And that's what makes you better. You know, like for me starting YouTube, I made so many mistakes. But you know what? I learned as I went. And because of those mistakes, I learned a lot. I still make mistakes. Still not perfect. However, the improvement that has occurred is definitely a lot, and definitely worth making those mistakes in order to navigate that and figure that out. So the Nine of Swords, I feel like you're sometimes really hard on yourself when you make a mistake and you ruminate about it sometimes. Like maybe you're going to bed and all you can think about is what you did wrong and what you wish you did better, and the circumstances that you're like, oh, it's like this fear. But that fear holds you back from success, because if you fear making mistakes, it's inevitable that you're not going to change. And so, I know this reading is about your life 2 years from now, but Spirit just has a lot to say. So I hope it's still useful and you're still getting what you came for, because yeah, Spirit just has so much to say in this reading, because Spirit sees your potential and Spirit doesn't want you to lose out on that potential, because it's like so much. Like this woman right here, she's like a goddess. She has so much potential. You even look at her and you're like, yeah, that woman has so much potential, but why is she sitting there not grabbing hold of this idea, not doing something with it? Okay. And ruminating on the mistakes. Okay, so back to what your life's gonna be like 2 years from now. As you take action towards what you really want and put yourself out there, learn from your mistakes, stop fearing making the mistakes, go out there, do the things, navigate your course, overcome the challenges, overcome the fears, have courage, use caution, have courage, and you will create so much more success, so much more balance in your life too, because the Six of Pentacles is also about balance. I feel like your mental state is going to be so much more balanced through this. I think you're going to prove to yourself how much more powerful and how much more strong you actually are. You're going to overcome so many kind of mental blocks that have been in the way. But the only way to overcome them is to dive in. It's like the Moon card. We dive in. We step into the unknown. And your entire world is going to flip for the better. Okay. We also have, oh, the next card. Look at this. Look at this. We have the transformation card. So like, seriously, this one fits with your reading so much. It is uncanny. The transformation card. You're like a butterfly spreading your wings, and all of a sudden you're gonna be able to fly. As you kind of step into these things and you learn as you go, you make those mistakes, they're gonna help you fly. It's gonna help you grow your wings, and it's gonna help you gain the strength to actually use those wings. I really think that diving into those things that are calling you, finding out what it is that you really desire, finding those things that really make you happy, it's going to be a massive transformation. I also see you leaving behind old habits and having this huge glow up where I feel like certain people from your past almost won't even recognize you. Like, kind of something that I'm seeing is, as you do this, I see you finding so much inner strength to be able to kind of begin certain new habits that may have been difficult for you before, but those habits are all of a sudden just going to change you. Like some of you, I see you having like a physical transformation that you're going to be so proud of yourself. Like, look at what I did. Look at what I achieved. Like maybe this is going to the gym and getting really healthy. Maybe this is a transformation of like I'm going to get a skincare routine and I'm going to change my life around. I'm going to change my confidence. Like your confidence is shifting because you are putting positive habits in your life through like dedication and knowing. Because the only way that we can like stick to a habit is when we know that we have what it takes and we have the power within us to continue it and to get to the end result that we seek. And that's one of the ways to do it. I see you doing that, okay? Massive transformation. Massive transformation. There's going to be a transformation in your finances as well, your career, just like so much. And again, I feel like people would look at you and be like, whoa, did you ever glow up? And when you gain more mental kind of clarity and this kind of mental balance, yeah, balance is the right word, and the health of your mind just is going to bloom, and it's going to like affect your entire world. It's going to affect your view of yourself massively to where you can bloom and you can fly and all that. We also have the truth card. That is the next card. You are not going to be scared to hide your truth anymore. In 2 years from now, this path is going to allow you to speak your truth from a place of like power, from a place of like, this is who I am and I accept myself. This is a journey of self-acceptance. Why am I feeling that so massively right now? This is also a journey of self-acceptance, accepting you for who you are, being able to admit your mistakes and talk about them from a place of confidence and from a place of love and compassion within yourself. And it's like, it's no longer feeling the need to hide your truth, because sometimes when we are filled with self-doubt and we have a more negative self-image, it's really hard for us to admit our full truths because we feel kind of negative about them. They're roaming around in our mind, and we feel like we almost can't really talk about it, only unless we're with people that we like so deeply, deeply trust that we are able to be vulnerable with. But I see this like confidence coming out to where you are just confident who you are. You're confident in your power, you're confident in your abilities, and it's going to be just easy breezy to talk about like, oh yeah, I made this mistake in the past, but I learned from it and this is what happened and that's what happened, and you're just so confident about it and so at ease with it, and it no longer ruminates in your mind. Like your mistakes no longer ruminate in your mind because you're so comfortable with yourself. You love yourself. You have this like form of compassion. I know I'm going on about this right now, but it's really beautiful, and the raven spirit is so powerful. If you see ravens around or black birds that kind of resemble a raven, I think it's a symbol of your transformation, because ravens are also a symbol of transformation, just like the butterfly is. And wings, like any sort of winged being, butterflies and ravens, birds, anything that kind of symbolizes the wings and the flight, this is going to be your symbol to transform. This is going to be your symbol. When you see them around, it is Spirit's reminder of shift your mindset. If you are negatively talking to yourself in that moment, it is Spirit's reminder of like, transform your mind, transform your thoughts, start thinking about yourself differently. And when you catch yourself thinking about you in a negative way and your past, transform it. How can you reframe that? How can you begin to show yourself love and compassion? Imagine you were talking to a friend, right, who made a mistake, a friend that you love, right? How would you talk to them about that mistake? You probably wouldn't be saying the same things. You probably wouldn't be feeling the same way. You'd say, oh, don't worry about it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Get up and try again. You're good. We all still love you. You know, that you'd probably be talking more in that way rather than like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm worthless. I did, like, you know, sometimes we have that negative self-talk and it is so like destroying. It is so, it just like gets us in a deep, but when you can catch that, when you can catch it, and then you say, wait a minute, I am my own friend. I'm going to start loving myself as if I am my own best friend. How would I talk to myself in that sense? And you can begin shifting your mind that way by just catching yourself and doing all that. Anyway, next card, we have a grand symphony. The music of your life is going to begin changing. So the music, okay, so imagine you're watching a movie and let's say there's a scene of somebody walking down a street. And let's say that there's kind of sad, sulking, kind of low music playing. And it's like, you know, that scene emotionally, because music tells us how to feel. Music literally tells us how to feel, and that's why they have music in movies. But then you take that same scene and you have somebody just walking neutrally down a street, but then you add the music of like hopefulness and this maybe even successful music, and it's like da 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 da, you know, something, I don't know. I'm just literally making up weird melodies. That scene emotionally is going to make you feel entirely different. So I feel like the Grand Symphony is talking about your emotional state, your emotional patterns, your perspective of life, and it's going to change the sort of story that you have going for yourself. I feel like you're going to be walking into main character energy, and your entire symphony, the band that plays for you in your particular movie, the music that's going to be playing in your movie is entirely different. You're going to be evoking entirely different music in your life, entirely different emotions in your life. And I also feel like your taste in music is going to drastically change, especially if right now maybe you're listening to music that's sort of like imagine that the music that you listen to is the music of the movie of your life. Is it an exciting movie? Is it a movie that you want to write for yourself? And if not, I'd highly recommend listening to music that kind of writes the story you desire, because it does help you change your emotional state. Music helps us shift our emotions, and it gives us certain emotions through the music. However, like, it's fine to listen to bad music once in a while. Like, it's fine to listen to like a sad song or whatever. Like, it's totally fine to have balance. You don't need to be so restrictive. So that's not what I'm saying. But if the majority of the music that you listen to is like not really the emotions that you want to begin and keep creating in your life, then maybe start adding in a couple new tunes that kind of make a new symphony for yourself. I feel like that's also Spirit's advice. But yeah, anyway, back to the whole, like, instead of advice stuff. 2 years from now, I do think your playlist is going to be so different. Like, I think that your music taste is shifting, and I do feel like you're already, like, you're attracted to multiple music types already, but I do feel like your music taste is going to actually shift quite drastically over these next 2 years. Anyway, close encounters. Close encounters. This is like your butterfly being set free. The cage, that transformation that you're making is going to set you free from past limitations. Past limitations. Have faith. If you continue to have faith through any obstacle or challenge that makes you feel small or makes you feel less than, if you can overcome that and focus on the big picture of what you desire and continue to move forward, you will find success. That is your secret formula that Spirit wants to tell you right now. Your secret formula to finding success in these next 2 years and to change your life into one that you freaking love, that brings you so much fulfillment. Whenever you get a close encounter that makes you feel small again, that makes you feel less than, that's a challenge along the way, where you could revert easily back to the old patterns, if you continue to call upon your power, to focus on that big picture, to overcome anything that comes your way, you will find success. That's what Spirit wants you to know right now, okay? We also have Dakini, the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. I love that that one came up for you, because I kind of felt like talking about this when we had the moon card come up, because the moon card is kind of similar to this. So I love that this card came out as a reminder to talk about this sort of aspect of your reading as well. So you do have a very powerful and strong intuition. However, sometimes I feel like you question your intuition and you're like, no, I'm probably wrong. And your intuition is really loud, and I feel like it speaks to you, and I feel like your intuition is like, I want something more. I want something sort of different than the life that I'm kind of in right now. And maybe there's also some great things in your life right now, you know? And that's great, you can keep those things. But maybe there's certain things that you're like, I'm not too happy with this part, I'm not too happy with that part. And this is about listening to your gut when it's telling you that, listening to your gut. Trusting your gut instincts, knowing that when you have a gut instinct that's like, hey, I want improvement here, or I'm drawn to creating this, I'm drawn to manifesting this. Whenever you're drawn to that, it's your gut speaking to you like, hey, you have that potential, you're being called in that direction right now. So let's explore that a little bit. We can explore it a little bit, see how it feels. And if it doesn't feel right, we re-navigate. If it feels right, and we're like, oh, I can see potential here, again, we move towards that. But your intuition is really powerful. And other ways that we tap into our intuition is when we ask ourselves, whenever you get a feeling about something, is this feeling coming from your mind and a fear that doesn't necessarily have basis in that exact situation? Or is that feeling coming from some deep inner knowing, some deep, deep, deep inner knowing? So hopefully that helps out. Anyway, also meditation, by the way, really helps us decipher mental thoughts and emotional thoughts versus gut instinct thoughts. Meditation really helps us decipher between those, so highly recommend. The next card that we have is the Mary Magdalene card, the Apostle to the Apostles. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. Embracing humanness and embracing the fact that you are fully worthy and a divine being regardless of those mistakes. You're human, right? We don't judge other people sometimes for making mistakes, and you know, or maybe sometimes we do, but like for the most part, if someone else makes a mistake, we're kind of just like, that's like human, whatever. But sometimes when we make a mistake, we're like, oh my God, it's the end of my world. We're so much harder on ourselves, but realize you're human. It's okay. And like, you're a divine being. You are meant to be here. You are meant to have a purpose, and you get to create whatever that purpose is. So what calls you? What draws you in? What do you want to experience, right? So anyway, let's get some last information on this reading. I'm also going to restart my camera because it's about to cut out. Okay, we are back. Yeah, anyway. My camera always cuts out at 30 minutes. I don't know why. I love this camera, and I wish that they made this camera in a version that does not cut out after 30 minutes. So anyway, let's see. 2 years from now, we also have the Observer. Why am I hearing like an online thing? Like, or this could even be something that you're creating and you have a vision for something maybe, or maybe you have a vision for something that you want to do online. Why is that coming up? That might be just a message for some of you, but for some reason I'm looking at this and it's like a laptop screen. Or maybe even a TV. Something with a screen that you're able to like see yourself and see you there somehow. Maybe some of you have like a desire to do something in the media, or something that you're proud of, something that, yeah, something along the lines of that. That's coming up for some reason. So 2 years from now, I feel like you could be watching yourself and what you've done and what you've accomplished. However that makes sense to you. Let's see what else we get. For some reason, I'm really feeling that card. Versatility. You might also be doing a lot of different things or changing in a lot of different ways. A lot of small changes that you make right now can lead to some of the biggest changes in the future for yourself. And letting go of bad habits. Why? Okay, so this plant on this card kind of looks like a certain type of plant, if you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean? It kind of looks like a certain type of plant. I don't know if it is supposed to be that, but anyway, why am I also hearing that we need to cut down on bad habits? When I saw that, for some reason in my head, it's saying cut down on bad habits because they are maybe stealing some of your energy and your motivation. Boundaries, having certain boundaries and being able to keep those boundaries is going to be so important for you on your journey. And also in 2 years from now, as you begin creating these boundaries, they're going to help you out so much to the point where you become a very strong, confident human being. Those boundaries are going to help you maintain your inner power, which helps you become more confident in yourself and helps you respect yourself more. So this could be boundaries with yourself, with your personal self, and saying, no, I have a boundary where I'm going to eat healthy on this amount of days, or I'm going to, cut out this thing because I know it's not good for me, or having certain boundaries with other people and saying, hey, you can't cross that line, or, I am choosing to have certain boundaries with my time so that I can get things done, or certain boundaries so that people actually respect you. And if people ever cross that line, it's like, okay, nope, like that's not a line to cross. And, enforcing those boundaries, really enforcing certain boundaries with yourself to keep your integrity and to keep you in alignment with what it is that you desire. It's going to help you out so much to have this power and confidence. And it's going to create more power and confidence within you over these next 2 years. Whew, that was a lot. Group 1. I can't believe we're still on group 1. That was a long reading. That is what we have for you all about your life in 2 years from now. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. I know Spirit had a lot of advice to say throughout that reading, so hopefully that was helpful. But yeah, I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And until next time, bye. All right, my group 2s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your life in 2 years from now. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so group 2, we have the 7 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords is being reversed, the Devil is being reversed, and then we have the Death card. So this is actually a really good reading. I'm excited about this. 2 years from now, 7 of Wands. This is really exciting. You're going to be so much more prepared and on it in 2 years from now. Also, this card is about climbing the ladder. So current things that are maybe, that you're battling, certain things that you're trying to overcome, certain challenges that are in your life, obstacles, whatever it might be, you're actually going to be climbing on top of those things and, really starting to improve yourself. I'm also randomly hearing that maybe you've had people say negative things about you, or maybe certain people have had like lower expectations of you. Either one of those, like maybe you've heard some negative comments before, or other things that maybe have like torn down your ego a little bit, maybe made you feel like you need to prove yourself in some way or overcome that, or to really show people like, hey, I'm better than that. Hey, I am on top of that, or I need to like prove those wrong, something like this, where you're trying to better yourself or trying to prove something wrong. And I really see you like getting on top of that and getting to a position where other people are actually quite admiring you and asking you, okay, how did you do it? How did you do those things that we all doubted you in? How did you accomplish those things and overcome those things and change things around? How did you do that? Like, I feel like you're going to be getting comments of people asking you how to get where you are, because you're climbing the ladder, and I feel like you're not letting judgment hold you back. You are not letting other people's comments or opinions hold you back. I really feel like you're stepping into a much more independent position and really climbing the ladder. I'm also seeing like people who once didn't believe in you are all of a sudden believing in you. Why do we have an ant again? Oh my goodness. I feel like this happens in pile 2s. Like, I moved to a new house where there's like no ants here, and me and my boyfriend were like, oh my God, this is amazing. There's like no ants in this house, and we can actually like, not have to clean dishes the second that we make them, and we don't get ants now. On your group, there's an ant. Like, okay, if you were also the group in the past I know we also might have some new viewers here or people that have not known this ant situation, but in some of the readings, there's just an ant that wants to like crawl around and say hello. And we have that again. So ants are hard workers. They're really hard workers. They are also a sign of collaboration, but also an incredible sign of like being able to carry a lot of weight and still be successful, because I think ants can carry like 10 times their weight or something, some crazy number. So I really feel like whatever it is that you're currently dealing with, or whatever challenges or obligations that you currently have that you are carrying the weight of, you're going to be successful at that. 2 years from now, I also see you letting go of a lot of that weight and like not needing to carry the same type of weight, but also you're so capable of so much more. So it's going to be like almost effortless for you to carry like a larger amount of weight. It's going to feel a lot more effortless for you because you're going to be more powerful, more strong, and you're going to have so many more things happening in your life and changing that it's going to be easier to carry that. Anyway, 5 of Pentacles is a card where when we're talking about 2 years from now, this is a card to me that's resembling a lot of independence. And maybe you're also somebody right now that you're like, I can do it all by myself. I can do it all on my own. I can take all these things on my own. And maybe you don't really like to ask for help a lot. But I'm seeing that in 2 years from now, that independent mindset is going to make you really powerful and really capable. Like maybe in the past, you've had certain things hurting you. And maybe even right now, maybe you've been dealing with certain health stuff, such as like maybe you've been dealing with like a really sore back for some reason. Like both of these are making me feel like a sore back, or maybe like sometimes it's hard for you to do as much. Like maybe, yeah, but I feel like you're becoming so much more strong, and 2 years from now, you're also learning how to better care for yourself so that you're not creating such a sore back and that you're not doing things that are damaging to your health. I feel like in 2 years from now, you're kind of changing things around and finding out ways to have the power and have the strength, but also know how to do things within balance so that you're not like overstraining yourself, because we can be powerful beings and we can do a lot, but sometimes when we overdo it, that's a little bit of a detriment. But when we can do things in the right amount, we can build strength and continue to build it without injuring ourselves in the process. Just like going to the gym, if you lift weights that are way too heavy, you might just like totally damage your muscle and hurt it, and then you're out for a few days, and that's no good. But if you build the weight and you take on the right amount and continue to build your strength and build your strength, you can actually create more strength and be able to carry so much more without, again, hurting yourself in the process. So I feel like that's something that you're also doing. Ace of Swords being reversed. There's something right now that maybe you're having a hard time taking action on, or maybe with the Ace of Swords being reversed, this can indicate sometimes a negative mindset comes up, or sometimes we wonder, can I even do it? Or another thing that this is making me think of is being scared to cut something out of your life that you know maybe you're meant to cut out of your life, like certain strings that are attached with something that you don't want strings to be attached to anymore. I'm seeing that is going to be an issue that you are solving in these next 2 years. The Devil being reversed, whatever toxic things are kind of in your life right now, or certain things that make you feel repressed, if you're repressing aspects of yourself out of fear, or you are scared to fully come out of your shell, or again, if you have toxic things in your life, this could be talking about a myriad of different things. What are those things that you know you need to cut out of your life, habits that you need to stop, cages that you need to break out of? What are those things? Because the Devil being reversed indicates that within these next 2 years, you are cutting out those things, or cutting yourself out of the box that you've been in. Opening yourself up to new ways and new opportunities. What are the chains that are currently holding you? The Devil talks about those chains. Maybe you're chaining yourself back from something, or maybe you feel chained to something that is not good for you, and you know it on a deep level. You know it. What are those things? What are those chains? Because the Ace of Swords with the Devil, this is time to break those chains. You're going to be breaking those chains over these next 2 years. And then the Death card talks about a rebirth. It talks about shedding old skin. So I really see you being able to cut away things over these next 2 years that have been holding you back or holding you down from your truest potential or from your happiest life. You're gonna be able to cut those things away, shed them. The death card's all about shedding. It's like you're a snake shedding its skin and allowing yourself to also become bigger and better, because Seven of Wands, this is mirroring what you're becoming. The Seven of Wands is this really powerful person, especially when it's upright. It's very positive. It's like we're able to handle all of these situations. You're going to be better prepared. Things that you don't feel like you're fully prepared for. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough wisdom yet for something. Maybe you feel like you are like certain challenges you're unprepared for. You're going to be learning so much over these next 2 years to where you are so powerful and you've grown so much. You are literally like a snake shedding its skin because you've grown so much. You've outgrown the old shell. You're like a hermit crab changing its shell because you've outgrown it. You've outgrown that and you're like, oh my God, I'm a totally different person. That was confining. What is confining you right now in your life, group number 2? Because those things you are shedding over these next 2 years. You are calling your freedom back, your independence back, creating more freedom, creating more independence than you've ever actually experienced before. So you're not even just calling it back, you're creating more freedom and more independence than you've ever experienced before. So exciting stuff. Let's dive into the next couple of cards that we have right here. We have the Unicorn of Purity. You're purifying your life. Like, I love that card came up for you, especially because we had this Devil card here. So again, there's something that you're currently chained to. It's a cage that's keeping you small. It's holding you back from something. What is that thing? What is that thing that's like, it's sort of toxic to keep yourself chained to this? It's holding you back. What is that thing? Unicorn, the purity, you're stepping into purity. You're cutting away things that were making you feel kind of like, ick. What's giving you the ick? What's holding you back and not making you feel your best and your highest? The Unicorn, it's also a very magical card, the Unicorn card. Very magical. So I feel like you're going to call more of your potential, your power, your inner magic. You're calling that back as you cut away these things that the Devil card is representing that are keeping you small, keeping you stuck, keeping you bound. Okay, success. Oh, Secret Spring, success card. Love this. Love that this is coming up for you, especially the fact that we started off the reading with the Seven of Wands. Success. What is your vision that you have for yourself? Because as you break those chains, you're allowed to ascend. That's when you can ascend. If you're wondering why things haven't been ascending yet, it's because of whatever these things are in the Devil card. They could be toxic habits, toxic people, situations, fears, or cages, boxes that we keep ourselves in. What is that thing and how do we break out of that? Because that's when you're going to be finding success. And over the next few years, couple years, as you again remove those things from your life, that is going to be where you're able to climb that ladder because you're not bound or chained to that thing anymore. So tons more success. I do see you making more money, more independence. You could even have more independence in your career, like some sort of like more freedom, more independence within your career. That's making you also feel so much more successful. Also, I feel like you are going to be surrounded by more green. This card, the green, is really sticking out to me. Green can represent money, of course, but it can also represent like where we live and what we're surrounded by. Maybe this could also be heart chakra energy. So more success in your love life in 2 years from now. Healing in the heart chakra energy. Then the next card that we have is the Seeing Beyond card. I think you're going to have a whole new vision for your future 2 years from now. A whole new vision. It's going to be like quite different because of how you're freeing yourself and because of the ladder that you're climbing. You're able to see more. You're able to see over the current obstacles and mountains that are holding you back. If you currently feel like there's a big fat mountain in your way that you can't like move forward because of this big fat mountain or this like challenge or whatever lingo that you want to use for this, and you're finding it really difficult to see your vision because of that and see what you desire, as you get over this, again, through the methods that we talked about, you're going to be able to see a whole new vision for yourself with whole new potential, because that mountain is no longer standing in your way. You're conquering that mountain. And as you conquer it, you're able to see over it, and you're like, wait, oh, there's so much more potential ahead of me. And I think you're going to dream bigger. You're going to be able to dream bigger 2 years from now, because you're overcoming these current obstacles that are in your way, like the Seven of Wands. She's like climbing this mountain. She's climbing this mountain in this card and overcoming these obstacles and challenges that are like, okay, let's just go into this. Okay, and then also endless possibilities. Okay, so this card, she's conquering all of these things, conquering this mountain. She has her shield. Look how powerful she is. This is you conquering whatever that obstacle is in front of you right now, being able to overcome it and be successful in the process. She does not take losing as an option. She is like, no, I'm getting over this mountain, no matter what comes her way, no matter what things stick up along the path, no matter what things try to take her out and challenge her. She is using those challenges to grow stronger, to get further ahead, because she look at her. She's like not taking no as an option. She's not even remotely looking behind her. She's looking ahead. She's like, I am conquering. She's so powerful in her movement here in this card. Like, this is your energy over these next 2 years. It's not taking no as an option. It's like, I'm getting to my goal and nothing can stop me, and I'm not letting these old things hold me back. And then as, again, you get to the top of that mountain, you're gonna be able to see a bigger vision for yourself. You're gonna be able to dream bigger and see newer opportunities. I think there's gonna be totally new things available to you 2 years from now that are currently, you don't even consider, because it's not in your grasp at the moment, but it will be, because you're climbing that mountain. Brand new things are gonna be in your grasp 2 years from now. Through purity, success, seeing beyond, conquering that mountain. And then we get to endless possibilities. So this one card just kind of confirms the storyline that we were just explaining of reaching those more endless possibilities and seeing like, ooh, wait a second, if I can do that, I can do so much more. I can do so much more. There's like so much more available to you. So that's beautiful. The next card that we have is Inanna, the Queen of Heaven and Earth. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. There's going to be so much more self-acceptance along this journey as well. So much more confidence in yourself. I feel like self-acceptance is one of the most difficult journeys of life. All of us kind of struggle with it at some point in time, is the acceptance of the self. I really see that you are going to be so much more proud of yourself and able to accept yourself, because you're doing things for yourself. You're doing it for you. As you do these things for yourself and honor your dreams, your desires, and have this mindset of I'm looking ahead and I'm getting to my goal and I'm going to overcome anything that comes in my way. That's Seven of Wands energy. Oh, I feel like it's going to bring so much more self-acceptance for you. And I feel like you're going to be able to just like honor your truth so much more, to accept who you are, where you've come from, where you've been, and where you're going. I feel like some of you have had a hard time accepting your past. That's something that I'm feeling. Like maybe you've had a hard time accepting your past, and maybe your past makes you feel less than. Maybe your past makes you feel like you can't have certain things. That's something you're also healing and overcoming. Realizing that you are worthy regardless. And I'm sure all of you have heard this example before, but I'm going to share it anyway because it's such a good example. If you take a $20 bill and you step on it, you crush it, you smush it, you throw sand on it, dirt on it, you whip it through things, how much is that $1 or $20 bill still worth? It's not worth anything less. It's still a $20 bill. It doesn't matter what it's been through, what it's going to go through. Would you still accept that $20 bill if somebody handed it to you? If somebody handed you a really dirty, stepped on $20 bill and you found it maybe even on the side of the street, would you pick it up? Would you want it? Yes, you would. So I feel like some of you might think that your worth is less because of what you've been through, but it's not. And again, I'm sure you guys have heard that example before. It's such a common example. But like, if not, hopefully that's insightful. Or even if you have heard it before, hopefully it's a good reminder of the fact that you still have worth. And let's go after our dreams. Let's do it. Let's live the life that we came here to live. Let's live the life that we want to live, because then we inspire others to do the same. We're also giving permission to others to do the same, even though we're the only ones that can truly provide ourselves the permission. So it's about you providing yourself permission, like, hey, I can still do this. I'm still worthy of this. I'm going to go after it. Doesn't matter where I've been, what my past is. It's who I am right now in the present and where I'm choosing to go. There's a quote by Carl Jung that talks about like, I am not my past, but I'm what I choose to become. I'm not my past, but I am what I choose to become. So, whew! You don't need to stay bound or stuck by your past. You are who you choose to become. So who are you choosing to become now? You can change yourself at any moment, okay? Anyway, the Princess of Mercy, Myo-shan, giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Oh, it's merciful. So like, no, nothing's against you. It's letting go of the idea that something's against you. Letting go of the idea that the world is against you. Because it's not. It's here to support you. It's here to help you. But it's also about you helping yourself. When you help yourself and you help the world will also help you. Giving is receiving. When you give to the world and you give value to the world, if you can give value to the world without expecting anything else in return, you give value, the universe will give to you. Other people will give to you. You have to give value. You can't just be like expectant of everything, or not even just like feel, we can't just feel unworthy about things and feel like the world is against us. When we give value, the world will be working with us. Hopefully that's making sense. Anyway, Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. What is a current thing in your life? I think that's why you also had the Devil card coming up. This is so powerful, okay? This is so powerful. This is why you had the Devil card coming up. Where in your life are you currently experiencing suffering? Is it in a relationship that is toxic that you need to let go of? Or are you suffering because you are keeping yourself in a box and saying, I can't do something because people are going to judge me. I can't do something because what if I get rejected? I am going to keep myself small because of blank, or I'm not going to do something because of this, or because of that, or because of my past, or because of the present, or whatever. When you recognize suffering, you can release it. When you recognize where that suffering is stemming from. Is it stemming from a belief? Is it stemming from like a condition you were raised with that doesn't have to be true? Like maybe the condition is like anyone who is successful and has money is evil. And then people all of a sudden want to keep themselves small because they're like, oh, if I become successful, then I guess I'm going to become evil. But that's not true, because there's also like amazing people who do amazing things, who are wealthy, who have success. There are also people who use their money for good things and give things to charity and do all this stuff. Like there's examples of that. Even just Google like really good idols, successful people who do great things with their money, you know, and you're going to find examples of that. So I recognize suffering in order to release it. What are you currently bound by? What is currently causing you suffering and keeping you in a box, keeping you held back, keeping you chained? Curiosity about that will breed compassion, because then you realize, oh, it's stemming from that. I can give myself compassion, I can give myself love, and I can choose to purify my life, cut out things, have the courage to cut things out of my life so that I can now find success. I can be free, I can create more freedom, I can look at my goal and like, whoo! So anyway, that's your life 2 years from now. That's how things are changing. Hopefully that's making sense. Sometimes I go off on tangents of like advice, because I feel like there's so much advice within tarot, and I feel like spirit always comes through with so much advice. But hopefully that still makes sense to how your life is changing. There's so many things that are changing, but spirit always has advice anyway. You're going to be so much more compassionate, releasing those things, recognizing those areas of your life where suffering was actually truly stemming from, and being able to release that. So Anyway, let's dive into our last set of cards. Let's see, we have the Outlaw. What do you need to give the boot to? What do you need to give the boot to? Boot it out of your life. The Outlaw. What are you outlawing from your life? What are you choosing to never have in your life again? Because there's certain things that you're going to give the boot to that are going to leave your life. And also 2 years from now, you're no longer going to be scared to stand out. You're no longer going to be scared to be different. And that's going to help you in the long run. That's going to help you so much. You're not going to be scared to be disliked, because that is a huge fear that holds so many people back. So many people back. All of us, kind of like most people at least, have this fear of being disliked, because one of the survival mechanisms of the ego is to belong. And so we end up falling into people-pleasing mentalities or other things that end up holding us back, because the ego is so scared of not belonging. Because usually, in the past, in order to survive, we needed to be accepted by the community in order to survive. Because if we're out on our own, no good. However, we live in a totally different world now. And of course, we should still try to be an amazing part of community and society and create a beautiful community. However, when we fall into like deep people-pleasing mentalities, sometimes it ends up holding us back in life, because we're afraid to stand out, we're afraid to be different, we're afraid to actually speak our mind. But the beautiful thing about life these days is there's communities of all different types of thought, all different types of thinking, all different types of being. And so finding the one that you fit into and not being afraid to be yourself in order to, find where you belong, that's a beautiful thing in life now. Anyway, we also have the Sage card. So Sage is a powerful cleanser, basically. Saging out the negative things in your life, purifying your life. It's another card of purity. Also purifying your self-image. The teeth that are on the card, teeth represent your self-image. And so when we sage in the teeth, we have the teeth symbol, it's also, we are getting rid of certain negative self-images that we've had. So that is what we have there. Your life 2 years from now is going to radically transform for a lot of different reasons that we talked about. Getting rid of those negative aspects, going on your target and goal, focusing on that, overcoming that. It's like you're gonna really rise in your, in who you are. It's like you're climbing the ladder and opening up brand new possibility where people have a totally different view of you, and they're looking at you and they're like, wait a minute, how did you do it? How did you get there? How did you get there? You're literally going to have people that maybe once didn't believe in you that are all of a sudden going to be admiring you and being like, how did you do it? I need advice. And you're going to be able to help other people because of that. And you're going to be providing so much more value to your life and to other people's lives. So that is what we have here. Group number 2, thank you so much for joining me here today for this reading all about your life in 2 years from now. I'm sending you all so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, so group number 3, if you chose this pile, let's go ahead and dive right into your reading. Group 3, wow. Okay, your reading, let's get into it. The Tower. The Four of Wands being reversed, the Strength card, the Three of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. Your life 2 years from now, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right off the bat. I haven't even gotten to group 4 yet, so I have no idea what to expect into group 4, but based on the cards that came out for you, I can definitely say that your reading and your life over the next 2 years is going to change the most out of like anyone. So if you were drawn to this pile, if you were called here, your life is about to go through a massive change. You have the biggest change. You can expect the biggest change coming for you, that is for sure. Okay, so let's get into it. The Tower card and the Four of Wands being reversed. These two cards play on each other so well and tell a whole story happening right now. So the Tower indicates that something that we've built up is no longer going to be working for us, and it wasn't meant to last anyway, okay? So whatever it is that's not really going to be, the biggest change that's gonna happen for you is something that was supposed to change. It is something that you were not meant to continue or continue for the rest of your life. So this could be a major career change for some of you. This could be like, hold on a second, I no longer want this. This is no longer what I want or need. I am totally rehauling my life. Like, you're going through a total rehaul, which most people do at some point in their lives. But since you are attracted to this pile right now, and again, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you're called to this reading, that's when it's going to be relevant for you. But in the next 2 years, over these next 2 years, I think that you're going to go through one of your biggest life changes. Of course, we all change throughout life. It's good to change. It's good to change things up, especially when we realize we want different things and all that. And yeah, so massive change. This could also be moving to like a new location that you've never lived in before and realizing like, wait a minute, the current house that I live in is not what I want. Like, maybe we live in an apartment, we're realizing like, oh, life has totally changed and now I actually need a house for whatever reason. Maybe we're having a family, maybe something's happening, but your foundation is changing. This could be major relationship shifts as well. But for the most part, since this is mostly talking about foundation, I'm seeing this as more of like career or where you live that's going to be drastically changing. Your foundation is changing. The fact that we have the Four of Wands being reversed, this talks about your foundation, which could be your home life or your career. And doing a total overhaul. Maybe it's shifting in some massive way because we don't want to keep building up this tower that we're not too happy with. We don't want to be there, okay? So it's totally shifting. It's completely changing. The Strength card that we have indicates that over these next 2 years, you're stepping into a position of power where you really know what you want. And I think that's why you're going through this major shift right here, is because over these next 2 years, you're really getting so solid and so clear about what you want and what you don't want. And this, you didn't want it anymore. And I feel like this is a decision that you're making for the most part, for most of you. Most of you watching this, I feel like this is your decision. Sometimes the tower can be like unexpected events that lead us to change, which could also be relevant. But this change is going to be one of the best changes that ever occurs for you. And I really see that this is going to be a very good blessing type of thing that's going to happen to you. So if there is something that drastically changes over these next 2 years, or if you feel a calling to make a big change over these next 2 years, it is guiding you to where you're meant to be. The tower is something that was never built to last. It was meant to be torn down at some point in time. So that is what you're being led to and guided towards. And again, it's going to be like the sun is going to be rising and you're going to be like, wow, it's going to make you so much more powerful as a person. And it's going to raise your confidence. And I feel like it's going to show you what you're truly capable of. And I feel like you're also wanting something that you feel strong in. Like you're maybe wanting a career that uses all your strengths and uses all your skills. Maybe you're wanting more of a challenge, or you're wanting to take on more and you feel ready for it, right? This could also indicate a move where you're going to move somewhere where you feel more powerful. You feel more in your element, in your zone. It could be a combination of both of those things, your career and your home life changing, so that you feel like you're more in a position of power where the sun can rise higher and you feel more alive. Like in terms of location, like if you're moving locations, I feel like you're moving somewhere sunnier. I feel like you're moving somewhere where you feel more in your element, in your zone, and you feel more powerful. And we also have the Three of Cups here. Your life in 2 years from now, you're going to be more surrounded by people that you so much love. You love these people. So this is friendships that are like so good that you are so excited to be around. And maybe you're even in a position in your life right now where maybe certain friendships are falling away. Or maybe you're going to move somewhere where all of a sudden it's like, okay, I need to make new friends here. And bam, we have the Three of Cups. So over these next 2 years, you're developing friendships that mean so much to you, or getting closer with certain friends that are like your soul tribe, that they're your people. You couldn't even imagine life without them. And they're kind of like your soulmate friends, you know, friends that are so on your same vibe, so in your same zone. You know, when we like graduate from school and we have like our school friends, which we love dearly and we know they're going to be with us for the rest of our lives, but maybe we go on different paths in life. You're going to be finding the people that are kind of on your same path and connecting to them more. And then we also have the Two of Pentacles here. And the Two of Pentacles is like finding more balance in your life, especially if you tend to overwork right now, or if you've been super career focused in the past and maybe didn't give enough time for fun and play. You're giving so much more time to fun and play in these next 2 years. And you genuinely have the time to give to it. It's not something where it's like we have to give up some of our career in order to have more fun, or we need to give up some of this in order to do this. You're actually making it work and finding a balance between friends and family and people, your social life, your love life, and your career life. Finding fulfillment in all of those things and being able to balance and navigate that. So that's going to be beautiful. We also have the Knight of Wands over here, which is like feeling so inspired, having a mission that you're so excited to take action on. So there's going to be tons of action also in your life in these next 2 years where you're just moving ahead, and it feels like you're moving ahead really fast. And it feels exciting. And by the way, the Knight of Wands also indicates moving. So we have a lot of cards here that indicate like a new foundation and moving. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2 years if you move somewhere and you're actually really inspired about this new place and you're inspired by the people that are there. Just a lot of things. There are a lot of things. And the Three of Cups also indicates a celebration. So there might be something important that you're also celebrating in these next 2 years as well. Like this could be a really important milestone that you reach, possibly even in your career. It could be celebrating a new job, the opening of a new business, or it could be celebrating a really successful year, or it could be celebrating new love, or it could be celebrating a wedding, or it could be celebrating, there's so many things that are like celebratory, but this is a big celebratory milestone of some kind that you are going to be experiencing in these next 2 years. This could be throwing you like a shower, a bridal shower, a baby shower, or something else, but there's some sort of like showering you with love, with joy, with like excitement. Really excited about these things. There's an exciting energy here. So you will be celebrating an achievement. And let's see what else we get. Let's dive into our next few cards. So let's dive into these. Also, I just want to say, group 3, when I was pulling cards for you, we had like more tarot cards come up for you than anyone else. And I feel like there was some more other cards that came up for you. There was like a lot of energy in your group. So I feel like, and the fact that we also have like the biggest change ever happening for you, I felt like you were probably really drawn to this group. And also, there's a lot of energy happening for you right now, which makes sense because we start off this reading with like such a powerful card. The Tower card is such a powerful card. All the cards in tarot are powerful, but this one's like, it's crazy. So there's a lot of energy happening in your life right now. There's a lot of big stuff cultivating. Oh, we also have the wolf spirit of family. Family might be something that's ultra important to you over these next 2 years. Like maybe you're going to want to spend more time with them. You're wanting to spend more time with people who feel like family to you, and also literally spending more time with your family. This card is also making me feel in the reverse position, like maybe currently you're not making a ton of time for family, and maybe it's weighing on you a little bit, or maybe you will start to really notice that over these next 2 years and being like, I really want to spend more time with family. I want to have more family time in my life. You're wanting to make room for that. And I see that that's something you're going to be calling in over these next 2 years. For some of you, your family is expanding in these next 2 years. So some of you, this could be a baby shower happening. It could be that. For others of you, this could be like celebrating like a sibling having a baby. This could be welcoming in a new family member in some way, or expanding your family in some way, like getting married. That expands your family. So family expansion is definitely coming, and also spending more time with family. Like family, the importance of it is like, it means so much more to you over these next couple years, and you're going to be spending more time with them. We also have the Crystal Cave of Trust. I love this card. Look at how magical this card looks. I feel like, okay, if you've also struggled with your beliefs recently, like believing in the universe, or believing in yourself, believing in your future and what you can create, or if you've struggled with trusting or believing in any way, shape, or form, maybe even asking yourself, what do I believe in? Maybe my beliefs are changing. over these next 2 years, you are going to find yourself again, find your faith, find your trust, finding your trust in yourself, the trust in the universe. You're going to find what you truly believe in, and your faith is fully returning, and you're cultivating that faith because maybe you've been asking yourself lately, like, what do I believe in? Maybe you're questioning things lately. You are refinding this. You're refinding what it is that you believe in, cultivating that trust, also being able to really trust yourself. Creating more trust in your relationships is also coming up. Being able to really feel like, hey, I trust my family, I trust my friends, I trust my partner. Trust is a big thing, and you're cultivating so much more of that. And I feel like you're going to be learning deep lessons about trust as well over the next couple years. And I really think that it's going to grow so much to where you're creating a very sturdy, solid life, and realizing what you can trust versus what you can't. Like maybe accepting that a certain career that you had, maybe it's realizing like, oh, that might change, but trusting and knowing in yourself, like trusting the process, trusting that anything that happens is in divine alignment with what's meant for you. It's what's meant for you. I also feel like if something does happen and you're like, why did that happen? Why did I attract that? But you're going to realize like, oh, I just need to trust because like it's going to bring you to somewhere so much better. And you're going to be like, okay. Like, especially if you have recently experienced like a breaking point of some kind or a big change of some kind. You're going to be able to really trust yourself again and trust those gut instincts and trust your life and trust what it is that you believe in. That trust is cultivating so much more. So let's dive into our next few cards here. We have Healing the Heart. So if there's certain wounds that have still held you back in any way, shape, or form, maybe even ones that were subconscious that you didn't even realize, are also healing over these next 2 years. And I feel like they're healing through a form of trust that's calling into your life. We also have Waking the Lion. Guys, I can't. We have the Strength card plus Waking the Lion. And the Strength card is connected to Leo because there is a lion literally on this card. Hopefully you can see that. But the Strength card is about the lion within us. You're awakening your power over the next 2 years, especially if there's areas of your life where you maybe feel a little bit powerless, or maybe you felt like a little bit weak in certain areas. You're like awakening the lion of like, I am going to go after this. I'm going to roar. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to create healthy boundaries. I'm not going to let people cross those boundaries that I create. You're calling in power. Lions are a sign of power. They're also a sign of your hair, like your hairstyle, being so into your hairstyle, growing long hair. And I know that can kind of sound like superficial, I guess, although it's not, because like, you know, hair is nice. We can talk about that. But anyway, Waking the Lion. You might also like want to really grow out your hair or be really confident, find confidence, because the lions are also hugely about confidence, self-confidence, confidence in where we're going, what we're doing, confidence in our decisions. Ooh, that actually hit real hard. If you feel like it's hard to make decisions sometimes because you're like, what's the best thing? What do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? The lion energy is being so confident in making decisions and knowing that like, I trust myself. I know myself, and I don't need to wait around for anyone else. I don't need to wait around for signs from the universe, even though asking for a sign is totally fine. But sometimes when we begin relying on those external sources, we are kind of like not trusting ourselves. It shows that we don't trust ourselves. We're not trusting our gut and our path and all of that. So when you can really just begin to trust yourself, waking in that inner lion, becoming so confident in yourself, you won't need to rely on these external sources as much. You won't need to be like, I need to wait for a sign. I need more confirmation. I need more of this, and asking other people what they think and all that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we can cultivate more confidence in ourselves, we won't need that as much anymore, right? We also have bearing fruit. Oh, the fruits of your labor. Okay, so if you've planted certain seeds, metaphorically speaking, and you've wanted to attract certain things, grow certain things in your life, You've wanted more abundance. You wanted to create more abundance. And maybe you've been putting a lot of effort towards something, a lot of thought towards it. And maybe you're going to be putting a lot of effort towards certain things over these next 2 years, putting a lot of energy towards something. Over these next 2 years, it's going to start showing that progress. It's going to start bearing that fruit. Not even just showing progress, you're actually going to be attaining, because bearing fruit is when that's like the end result. It's not just progress. Progress is when you start seeing the flowers bloom and then slowly they're turning into fruit. But once it's bearing fruit, this literally talks about reaping the rewards of your hard work. So over these next 2 years, you're going to actually be living in the moment of where your fruit tree is now bearing fruit. It's bearing the fruit. Maybe some of you are actually thinking about growing fruit trees, and maybe you're like, oh, it's gonna take a long time before it like blossoms and bears fruit. You're gonna be cultivating that right away. However, this also talks about your actual success, your actual endeavors that you are going on. Over these next 2 years, you are going to be reaping the rewards of that hard work. 100%. Bearing fruit also, this could be talking about kids, expanding your family, bearing fruit, and then the celebration. Some of you, if you're thinking about starting a family, I see that absolutely happening. If some of you have, if you have members of your family that are thinking about having kids, that's also an aspect of bearing fruit and the Three of Cups and this big celebration and more family and stuff. But yeah, this is bearing fruit. The fruits of your labor are paying off. You're reaping the rewards. So more money is going to be coming into your life, more success. I see you being able to have vacations and doing things that are really fun for you. Being able to also spend your money on things that you're like, ooh, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not doing it to necessarily progress or things that I need. It's like you're able to actually use some of that money for fun, for genuine fun, and also still feel abundant. Like, hey, I'm still saving money. I'm still being smart with my money, but I'm also able to enjoy it because my fruit tree is bearing the fruit. I get to save some fruit for the winter, get to save it for whenever, and I also get to enjoy some right now. And you're feeling so much more comfortable doing that because of all of these changes. Okay? Also, I just need to say, I'm really enjoying this reading. There's just so much coming through. Spirit has so much they want to say. So these next 2 years, it's just so many good things. The sun is shining, and the sun is your planet right now, I want to say. Some of you might actually be Leos, or you might know a Leo, or Leo energy is just going to be your type of energy over the next little while. So you might not be a Leo at all. However, the fire is awakening in you over these next 2 years. The sun is like your element. I also feel like you're going to become more of a morning person, if you're not already. And you're going to be inspired. It's like your life, there's so much more zest, there's so much more sun, there's so much more brightness. Things are brighter. So many good things. I'm excited about this. So anyway, diving into the next few cards, the next one we have is, Freya, goddess of discernment, making decisions. What was I saying earlier about making decisions? It's going to be so much easier for you to make decisions. However, there's so much more within this card than just that. I spend my time wisely. Two of Pentacles. We were talking about that earlier. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. Some of you may have also been around for a reading in the past where this card came up. I love when this card came up. It is one of my favorite cards to read. So one of the best things that's going to be happening in your life, and it's going to help you with making decisions so much better, is this advice right here. If you've heard this before, maybe you need to hear it again. Let's dive in. So I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. If you have a decision to make and you're kind of on the fence, let's say you're about to buy something, you're about to buy a shirt, and you're like, I really like this shirt, but it's a bit expensive and I'm not really maybe I don't like it that much, but is it worth it? Maybe, and you're on the fence. Only say yes when it is a holy hell yes. If there's a shirt that you see and the price is a bit expensive, but in your whole body you're like, oh, it is worth it. It is so worth it. Then it's it's a holy hell yes. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. And then you're only going to have things in your life that you actually genuinely love and that you're happy that you spent money on it. And also one of the things that helps out with shopping, by the way, I don't know why I'm talking about shopping, but whatever. But one of the things that helps out when you're like shopping, and let's say you see something that you're like, ooh, that caught my attention, I kind of want that, and you add it to your cart and you're like, do I do it? Do I do it? Sleep on it. Sleep on it. If you forget it by tomorrow, you didn't need it and you didn't really want it. If by the next day you're still just like, oh my God, that was like the best thing I've ever seen, I need it, I need it, I need it, get it. Because then it's a holy hell yes. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. And this goes with opportunities in life. This goes with anything in life, not just shopping, although shopping is just an easy example to like use for explaining this. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. When somebody asks you, hey, do you want to go out to a cafe and sit there together and chat, and you're like, oh my God, yes, that sounds amazing. Yes, do it. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. If somebody asks you out and they're just like, hey, oh my God, we're like going to the beach right now, and you're just like, oh, I'm kind of like really in a work zone right now. Oh, but that sounds fun too. What do I choose? What do I choose? I love going to the beach, but also I'm like in the zone. Then no, stay in the zone. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes, and then you'll never be guided wrong. So yeah. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes, and then everything that you acquire in your life, that you attain, that you purchase, that you put your energy towards, if you only say yes when it's a holy hell yes, everything that you do in your life and acquire in your life is going to be in full alignment. It's going to be in full alignment. So anyway, good advice right there. I started living my life that way recently, and it's been so good. Anyway, diving in, next card that we have, Sarada Devi, the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. In what way have we been overly judging ourselves? Because the next 2 years is about letting go of that. Letting go of that overly judgmental tone. Maybe we even judge life a little bit too much. And maybe over these next 2 years, it's about letting go of some of that judgment so that we can live freely, so that we can live in the presence of love. Of love, not being so afraid of judgment, just loving things the way that they are, loving yourself the way that you are, striving for better, you know, like wanting to improve yourself and wanting to do things, but still loving yourself in the process. And that's something that we're able to do and balance out. So yeah. Also, the way that you spend your time, I feel like you're going to be revising that very deeply, because I think that you're realizing maybe we've spent way too much of our time doing things that maybe we're just overly productive, or maybe we're not productive enough. So it's like learning how to balance those things out so that you can create a life that you love, that's full of the fulfillment, and not feeling guilty about taking time off too is important. So the goddess of discernment, better discerning your life, your decisions, better discerning how you spend your time, and knowing that you are still of value even when you're enjoying your time, even when you're having fun, you're still of value, and you're still providing value because you're providing fun and excitement. And that's kind of the best value that we all seek anyway. So when we can live from a place of that, we're adding beauty to the world. So hopefully that's making sense. We also have Rita of Cassia, the patroness of impossible causes. This card says, if we can focus on it, it says, I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. Ooh, this is talking about prayers. Have you been praying for something lately? Like praying for a sign, praying for things to help you trust in your future, praying for things, praying for more abundance, praying for more time off, praying for more family, praying for what have you been praying for? Because this card is showing up to say that your prayers have actually been heard. And maybe things that you currently think are impossible, you're going to find miracles too over this next little while. Because this is the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. This is miracles happening for you. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. Your prayers are being heard. Maybe you're going to get deeper into praying or creating a more spiritual practice to connect with like the divine energies of the universe and connect with them in a deep way to where you can put out intention of what you want, what you desire, but also trusting along the process that anything that's happening is in your divine alignment. But you can still pray, you can still ask for what you desire, and you can still receive what it is that you desire. Let's dive into some more cards here. We also have compassion. Didn't that also come up with you recently? Something about compassion somewhere? Compassion for yourself, for others. I think your life is going to be full of more love, more compassion, more healing of the heart, especially in ways where maybe you felt scarred or scared of something. We also have the Get Creative card. I feel like your creativity is blossoming over these next 2 years. There's going to be projects that you're really excited to take flight on, to bring them to the world. I feel like your creativity is like no longer really caring so much about perfectionism, having compassion for the creative process. And I feel like you are allowing your creative juices to flow, and there's going to be something really exciting that you're bringing to the world that you're really excited to release or show to the world. Maybe even a creative project that you're working on right now or thinking about or planning, bearing fruit. You are bringing it to the world within these next 2 years. Like, this kind of reminds me of like dropping something into the world. Like, this is you've worked on this creation for however long, and it's like you're able to drop it into the world and be like, here you go, world, this is what I've done, it's done, here it is, this is it. So what is it that you're maybe thinking about, planning, or putting together right now? Because I feel like you're like, oh, it's time to drop it. And maybe this is gonna happen like even 6 months from now that you end up releasing this thing, or even a year from now, year and a half from now, or the entire 2 years. But within these next 2 years, you are like releasing something or bringing something to the world. Something is completed that you've been working on. You're so proud to show it off and be like, look at what I did. Look at what I did. It's here, it's done, it's ready. Like, so yeah, that's what we have for you. There's a lot of information in there, group number 3. A lot of information. I hope you enjoyed this reading. There was so much good energy here, so much stuff going on. I hope it made sense. I am sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I'm so excited for you and these next 2 years and all the changes that are happening and what's being created and all that jazz. So again, sending you so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here. And until next time, bye. All right, so my group number 4 is if you chose this pile, this is going to be a reading all about your life in 2 years. So let's hop right into it. Okay, group 4, we have the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, we have the Lovers, we have the Ace of Pentacles being reversed, and we have the 4 of Pentacles being reversed over here. So this is a really interesting reading. In these next 2 years, one of the things that I'm really seeing in your life, or at least it's been in your past, is like negativity or mistrust in certain relationships. This could be friendships, but for the most part, this could be, or it could even be business partnerships too. So relationships in your career, friendships, or even like romantic partnerships that you've had maybe haven't been the best or most trusting relationships. Maybe there's been some things that you've experienced in the past where it's been hard to find compatibility. It's been hard to find genuine commitment. It's been hard to find actual honesty and truth. And honest people, and maybe we've experienced a few of those like snake bites in the past from people. Maybe you're in something right now that you're kind of questioning someone's intentions or something along the lines of that, or you just have experienced that in the past. In these next 2 years, I feel like your relationships are incredibly improving because you are really beginning to set boundaries and becoming a bit more aware of red flags in relationships and knowing how to have conversations up front to see someone's true intentions and being able to trust what it is that you see and feel about someone, and knowing who should be in your life and who shouldn't, and how to tell when someone is not really revealing their fullest intentions or their fullest things. Like, I feel like in your future, you're going to be so more aware in order to not get stabbed in the back anymore. Like, you don't want that anymore. You've had scars in the past. You've had people mistreat you in the past, and you don't deserve that, my love. Like, you do not deserve that. Nobody deserves that. I feel like you are learning how to have certain conversations, how to be authentic, how to be upfront, how to be honest and see honesty, to see truth, to see those red flags and be able to trust yourself enough to know when to walk away from something. And you might be walking away from relationships that are no bueno, no bueno anymore. In fact, you actually 100%, if you still have relationships in your life right now that are no bueno, they're no good, you are walking away from those over these next 2 years, detaching from it, even though it's hard. Like maybe we've felt really attached to these people for whatever reason. Like maybe we were financially attached to them. Maybe they were helping support us in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe just emotionally, we were really attached to them. Maybe we were attached to them for whatever reasons. It was hard for us to let go. However, you're meant to let go of people that you can't really trust, that aren't on the same page as you, that don't bring you what you desire. And again, these relationships could be romantic, work-wise, or even friendships, even family members. They could be any kind of relationship, but this is a time for you to begin cleansing your life, purifying it. This reading also slightly came up in group number 2, so I almost wonder if some of you were also attracted to group number 2, because group number 2 had the devil card in it, which kind of talked about toxic things and needing to let go of that. And this group also kind of talks about that. So I wonder if you were also drawn to that one. But anyway, diving deeper into this, there's also so much more in this. Learning how to say no to something and seeing it for what it really is. Does it actually have value? The value that you're looking for. Everything has its own certain type of value. Is something going to give you the value that you deserve, want, and desire? Is it going to bring that? And this is learning how to say no. No. How to cut things out that aren't giving you what you want. How to find a bad seed and be like, that's not going to sprout the flower that I'm looking for. Learning how to say no to that. I also see you planting a seed to something that you do really want, and I see you manifesting really positive relationships. The fact that the Lovers is upright and it's the center card of this reading. If you want positive partnerships, or even just one positive partnership that's going to bring you exactly what you want, you are absolutely manifesting that. 100% manifesting that. It does require letting go of this stuff though and releasing that. But you are going to be manifesting this over the next 2 years, is the divine partnership that you've always wanted, whether that's business or romantic or friendship wise. You are manifesting success in relationships and how to provide for yourself and how to show up with your full cup and somebody else show up with their full cup. That is something that you are so deeply manifesting. I'm also curious what else is going to be happening for you, because a lot of this is really wanting to talk about relationships, which I feel like is kind of the most important thing for you to hear right now. However, I'm also curious the other aspects of your life. I do see you finding more personal success, because this is calling you to be more independent. It's calling you to also find yourself, by the way, to really find yourself. Some of you, ooh, there is a message here. Hold on. There is a message here. If you've ever felt like you need to bend over backwards or change yourself in order for somebody to like you, you are going to be realizing how not good that is. Because when you change yourself in order to please somebody else, you're not even being you. Therefore, that person's not even necessarily liking you for you, because you're not being yourself. They're liking you for whatever facade or play that you're putting on, right? And it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for us to act like someone else or to change ourselves for someone, especially when it doesn't come from an authentic place. It's not sustainable and it doesn't bear fruit. It's a plant that doesn't bear fruit. You can't plant a seed that's a rose and say, nope, we're going to paint the rose the color of a lily and try to make it look like that. It's like, it's still not a lily. So being who you are and finding someone that loves and wants who you are, not needing to change for somebody. Of course, we can always improve and we should work on improving. However, who you are fundamentally at your core, if somebody's not vibing with that, let's find somebody who does want that, somebody who does vibe with that. And knowing that we are so worthy, you're so worthy, you don't need to be with anybody who doesn't want to be with you, you know what I mean? We also have the Nine of Wands being reversed. This is talking about healing. If you've doubted your ability to heal from certain things, you are healing. You are so capable of that. And you are so capable of finding what it is that you truly want. It is out there. We also have the Three of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is, all these cards are still correlating to the exact reading. I'm like here trying to find more information on your life 2 years from now, and it's wanting to talk about relationships. So, Three of Swords. This is about going through a bit of a heartbreak and needing to accept the reality of a situation. If you know in your heart of hearts that what you're in right now is not that good, sometimes we need to accept that, and it's a hard truth to sometimes accept. You are accepting that truth, and you are healing from that hurt. Over these next 2 years, you're healing from it in such a way where you are going to be able to open up to a relationship that is fully loving, that is fully supportive, to find people that are on your same vibe, that are on your same page, that love you for you. And you're like, wait a second, I've never even experienced this before. You're going to be able to attract a relationship where you're going to never doubt ever again what your gut's been telling you for quite some time. Because the relationships that you're going to experience in your future, by creating respect for yourself, value for yourself, sticking to who you are, as you stick to that and find a relationship that is on that same page, that mirrors who you are, it's going to be something unlike you've ever experienced. It's going to be something unlike you've ever experienced. It's going to be an amazing experience. We also have Page of Pentacles. This is a card of commitment. Attracting people that are committed. Attracting people that you can actually progress with, that are also thinking long term, that are not trying to push you, rush you, or are indecisive or untruthful. The Page of Pentacles is somebody who's truthful, they're honest, they want to start something off on the right foot, they're not rushing to the finish line. They want to start it off on the right foot, they want to build it, and they want to build it solid, they want to build it strong, have all the meaningful conversations that help you get to know somebody and connect you properly. Also, in this reading, if you've been like scared to be on your own, or scared to lose something, scared to, if there's a fear here, you're healing that fear as well, to where you're so much more independent, and you really know what you want, and you have standards and values that you're no longer willing to ever compromise on, ever. Like, you're no longer willing to compromise on that. Okay, let's dive into some more stuff. We also have Dragonfly, Spirit of Change. If you see dragonflies around, they're an absolute sign for you. They symbolize the change. And they also symbolize like soulmate counterpart energy. Because when dragonflies are mating, they like stay stuck together and they fly. Like, find someone who you can fly with. Who is, and for some reason this is coming to my head, somebody who you can trust only has eyes for you. Okay? It's also coming to my head there. Passage. Standing stones. This, for some reason, is screaming like walking away from something, leaving something behind, honoring the healing process, going through the passage. Like, once you go through the passage and you leave behind what's no longer working for you, you open yourself up to the possibilities of what can work for you. And you open yourself up to a brand new world. If you want to experience a different reality, you need to leave behind your current reality and walk into a new one. So I know this is talking all about these like deep things, like, but what you're going to be manifesting because of this courage, and because of this honoring of your gut, your intuition, because honoring that, you are going to find your person. You are going to be attracting relationships that honor you back. You're going to be attracting trust integrity, commitment, like all the good things, okay? The land between. I feel like your reality is going to be so drastically different than what you knew before. Like, this is reminding me of kind of like a heartbreak, like the break in the thing, but it's mending by moving on. It's mending by, yeah, moving forward. Shining through. Ooh. You will be shining again. Like, this is actually something where this whole situation back over here was dimming your light. Look at how dark these cards are. What is this situation that's so dark? It's almost hard to see through. It's like we need to carry a flashlight in there to even try to decipher what's going on. What is that? You know what I mean? Like, this situation was dimming your light. It was making you feel less. It was making you feel not that great. Your light is going to be shining as you leave behind those things, as you leave behind whatever this thing is, person. Your light is going to be able to shine again. Your light is your essence, right? And it's almost like your essence has been dimming because of like the questioning and the unsurety caused by this situation. But as you move on from that situation, you let it go because you know that you deserve better. Like, your light just shines again. Your light is shining through. And maybe for some of you watching this, maybe for some of you, this isn't a relationship. However, if this is a relationship, you're going to know right away and you're like, yeah, yep, that's a thing. Okay. We also have the Black Madonna, Our Lady of Hermits. I transform pain and suffering. Does this ever resonate? Look at, I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. What? Sorry, just a moment of silence there. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. You don't need to close off or be fearful of love. Because when you close off to the possibility of rejection, when you close off to the possibility of no, and you don't want to see it or accept, you don't want to accept a no. You don't want to accept the reality of a situation, so you avoid it. You also close off to receiving the positives. Because the positive of this situation is that if you accept that this is no good, and you actually truly accept that, you also open up to accepting and receiving that your happy ending, your good, amazing person and situation is out there, and it is something else. It's clearly something else. But if you close off, and let's say that you leave this behind, but then you're scared to love. And so you close yourself off because you're afraid of hurt, you're afraid of rejection. If you're afraid of that, you close off to also receiving potential love. Because if you close off to receiving rejection or anything like that, and you're closed off to that, you're going to close off to situations that could potentially be love as well. Someone's going to come up to you, ask you for a date, but if you're so scared of that date going wrong and you're so scared of like mistrust and things like that, all of your actions are going to close it down, close it off. Even if you go on that date, you're going to be closed off because you're scared of being rejected, you're scared of being hurt. So you're not being vulnerable and you're not being open. Therefore, you can't receive love either. So we need to be open. And I see that in these next 2 years, you're going to be healing, become open, you're going to shine through. You're going to be able to transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love, which is amazing. So diving into more. Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. Wealth is an inside job. That is a powerful card. The goddess of abundance. Another thing that I'm seeing for you is you're going to be open to actually receiving more abundance in life, like literally more money and more wealth, because the way we view ourselves reflects in all aspects of our life. So if we're accepting a toxic relationship or somebody mistreating us, we're not seeing ourselves as very worthy and we're not really respecting ourselves very much. And that's going to reflect in our career in some way, shape, or form. And so even if you have a good career, Or maybe if you have a career that you don't like, either way, you're going to be making more money, being more abundant as you begin to respect yourself more, your time, your love, your energy. And I also think that you're going to be attracting a person, by the way, who actually is quite successful. You're going to be attracting a person your way who's quite successful. The person you are attracting in your life over these next 2 years has a successful career. They're an inspiring person, and they have a great capacity to love. We also have the Fatima, the mother of Imams. I can't pronounce these things right. Anyway, love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. That is a powerful card, and that connects so deeply. So love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. Wow. You are a loving person. That is what I feel from this group 4. You are a loving person. You're attracted to the pink stone. You are a loving, loving, loving person. You have so much love to give. Who are you choosing to give that to? Are you choosing to give it to somebody who also has so much love to return to you? Or are you giving it to somebody who doesn't really deserve that love right now? Because they need to work on themselves. And gratitude is my religion. Being grateful for all these experiences because they're teaching you something. It's allowing you to grow. Gratitude for all the things. Gratitude also helps us heal. We also have Sappho, the poetess. I love every inch of my body, and I love the women in my life fiercely. Beautiful. Okay. Keep the people in your life that you love that also show you the same love. Love every inch of yourself. Maybe you've been like overly critical of yourself, and over these next 2 years, I see that you're going to fall in love with yourself, and you're going to love certain aspects of yourself that maybe you currently run away from, or you try to hide, or you're insecure about, or you dislike. I see you beginning to create a positive relationship with yourself, loving yourself. I also see you putting more effort like into creating a version of you that you love. Not that you're unlovable right now. You're not. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But when we put more effort towards ourselves because maybe there's something we want to do, like maybe we want to be healthier. Maybe we want to, dress in a way that's so inspiring or whatever the case may be. I feel like you're going to be doing things for yourself that help you love yourself and help you be more inspired by yourself, but also loving yourself in general. That is really what's happening here. We also have dare to dream. Dare to dream of the bigger picture, what's really actually possible. There's so much more that's possible for you. Let's see what else we get. Group 4. Any last cards for my group 4s? All about your life in 2 years. Okay, there's a lot of cards that came up for you. So we also have paradox. So something's going to be a little bit of a shocker to realize. Like, it's by saying no to certain love, we also say yes to other love. So if we say no to, like a current love that maybe we have in our life that's not that great, the interesting thing about that is we're also saying yes to more love in our life by saying no to love that isn't working out. That's an interesting paradox, but also paradoxes can be like many different things. So I think that you're going to be realizing and almost having like a funny laugh. I honestly see you having like a good laugh 2 years from now and being like, wow, that was a funny little turn of events. And it's going to lead you to like so many more greater things in life. We also have the alchemist, absolutely transforming an experience in your life, and this particular experience, transforming the pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. That is alchemy. You're transforming yourself, you're transforming a situation, and you're transforming things for the better so that you can welcome in more love into your life. We also have the card of surrender, surrendering to the situation, not trying to force it to be something that it's not. We can't force something to be something that it's clearly not. So surrendering to what the situation is, accepting it. And once we accept it and surrender to it, that's when we're able to grow and navigate where we actually want to be. Then we also have the card of reflect. reflecting on the past, reflecting on yourself, reflecting on what you want in love, and setting up boundaries so that you don't ever get anything less. Because an interesting thing is sometimes, like, they always say relationships are mirrors, right? But sometimes it's hard to understand how a relationship is a mirror when we are giving so much love and somebody is just taking it and abusing it and not, treating it as it's supposed to be treated. So we're like, wait, how is that mirroring me? That doesn't make any sense. How is a relationship a mirror? However, it is actually still mirroring you. And this is why. Because if you are willing to give love unconditionally to somebody who does not respect it, that person will mirror that boundary back to you, because it's a lack of boundary. It's no boundary. Your boundary is like there's no threshold to who gets to, have your love. Therefore, like, if you have no boundary, whatever's right there on the bottom is going to grab hold of that love. However, if we create a boundary and have higher standards, it's literally higher standards, then only the people that are up on that standard can enter your love life. So people are still a reflection. They are mirroring you. If you have no boundary that says, my standard is this in my love life, they will mirror that back to you. So anyway, it's still a mirror. Hopefully that analogy makes sense, because I used to be so curious about that when I was younger, and I'd be like, wait, how are relationships mirrors? Because how could somebody who gives love so unconditionally get mistreated if relationships are reflections? It is a reflection. It's a reflection of your subconscious, what you're accepting, what you feel like you might deserve. Because if you know that you don't deserve to be treated that way, and you know it in your core, and you actually create, your own set of values and standards, and actually enforce those standards and don't let anybody cross that boundary, and once they do, it's like, bye. If you actually enforce that standard, then your relationships will be an entirely different reflection, because you will never accept somebody into your door, into your life, who crosses that boundary. They can't get into your life anyway, because there's a boundary there. You don't allow people like that. Therefore, they would never come. They would never even step foot in your life, because you're like, whoop, nope. As soon as the red flag comes up, you're like, bye. And so it's about being able to see that, having the correct discernment to see, like, when somebody actually genuinely keeps crossing a boundary and they're not going to change, versus somebody who, like, oh shoot, I made a mistake. I actually genuinely made a mistake. I'll never do it again. It's like, okay, cool, fine. People make mistakes sometimes, cool. But other people just keep making the mistake and they don't learn. And it's like, okay, well, at some point we're going to need to have a certain standard and a certain boundary where it's like, okay, that's it. So relationships are a reflection. They are a mirror, and they mirror what we choose to accept. They mirror our values, our standards, our boundaries, and all these other subconscious things that are going on. So that's that. Anyway, I don't know why I went on that tangent. Hopefully it was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Your life in 2 years from now is massively changing, because you are massively changing. You're massively changing who you accept into your life. You're massively changing your other patterns, and it's going to draw in new people. It's going to call in new people into your life, people that are on your same level. But you need to create that new level, and I see you creating that new level within these next 2 years, saying goodbye to those who don't fit that standard. And it's going to massively improve your life in so many ways. It's like your love life improves. You're able to be vulnerable because the people that you're with, you actually trust genuinely. And you're able to experience a love unlike anything else you've ever experienced, because now that's your standard. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me here. Group number 4. It looks like things are changing massively for the better. Great healing is happening. More abundance is coming into your life, attracting somebody who actually is very successful and has like an abundant mindset that is valuable. It's very valuable. Like the person that you're attracting has good values, has really good values, and upholds those values, actually upholds them. But you need to uphold your values to also find somebody that upholds theirs. Okay, that's the interesting other part of it. Relationships are reflections again. If we uphold our values, our standards, and our boundaries, we will attract somebody who also upholds their own values and respects and upholds ours. But we need to be the first one to do that. So anyway, that is that. Group number 4. I hope it made sense. I hope it offered insights. I feel like there was a lot of advice in this reading, but I feel like that came up in every single person's reading. Like Spirit just had a lot of advice to give for these next 2 years, because like you're manifesting a really good direction, but Spirit also wants some advice along the way. And I feel like it's because we always kind of seek advice too. It's like, okay, we want to know that we are getting where we want to go and that we're achieving the things that we want to achieve, but we also want to know how to like overcome our current things that we're facing. So I feel like Spirit always comes through with advice through these readings regardless, which I love, and hopefully you enjoyed it too. And I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here at group number 4. There's amazing transformations to where you're attracting really good people your way from the changes that you're making internally. So I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye.